attendance in person while continuing to use the current telecommuting process in place. To join the meeting via teleconference, dial 403-917-1764 and enter the PIN 47001 when prompted. We have an agenda before us. Does anyone have any amendments to the agenda? If not, a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
I'd like to make an addition under 2.37 on-farm slaughter.
I have that. Were there any other additions?
I'll move the agenda as amended.
All right, we'll call the question. Approved. So prior to nomination of the chair and vice chair, review of the voting procedure from paragraphs 54 to 56 of the procedural bylaw are located on page 3 of the package. It talks about the voting procedure, and we would like to do the nomination for chair now. So I would like to call for nominations of the chair for the first time.
I'll put my name forward. Okay.
I will call for a chair for a second time. Hearing none, I will call for a chair for the third time. We have a chair. Congratulations, Shannon. Thank you.
Are you doing vice chair or shall I do vice chair? Okay. Next thing on the agenda then is to call for vice chair. I'll open the floor for nominations.
I nominate Tom Eichert.
Tom, do you accept? Yes, I.
Yes, I will accept.
Any other calls for nomination? Second time? Any other calls for nomination? Third time? All right, Tom, you're acclaimed.
Perfect. What's the pay raise now?
I got some bad news for you. All right, next on our agenda, adoption of the minutes from the October 2nd, 2024 meeting. Any errors or omissions? If not, a motion to approve.
I'll move the minutes.
Thank you, Tom. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? And that's carried. All right, we have, we have presentations from some 4-H clubs. George will bring them in.
Through the chair, good morning. This is George from administration here. To previous Ag Service Board meeting, we had requested a 4-H presentation regarding supporting of the 4-H clubs of Wheatland County. We have a blended presentation today from the clubs in Wheatland County that includes the Crowfoot Multi-Club, Strathmore Rusty Spurs, Standard Sheep, Rockyford Beef, and the Hazar Beef 4-H clubs. I think I got it correct there. So welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
Hello everyone. Today we are excited to talk about the local 4-H clubs and the fantastic opportunities that they provide for young people. 4-H is all about learning, growing, and giving back to the community, and all while making lifelong friendships along the way. All of us in our clubs are so thankful for this opportunity to be here and explain a little bit about why 4-H means so much to us, and dive into a bit about what each of our clubs do throughout our year. We're going to be starting with an introduction so you can learn a little bit about us as individuals and why we love 4-H. We will start with myself. My name is Jessica Wolfs and I am 18 years old. I have been with the Strathmore Rusty Spurs 4-H Club for 10 years and my project is horsemanship 4 to 7. 4-H has taught me so much and has played a huge role in the person I am today compared to who I was when I was first joined at 9 years old. 4-H has provided me with valuable experience in public speaking, helping me develop confidence and effective communication skills. I know that this skill is always going to be beneficial for me throughout the years in both professional and personal aspects. My favorite 4-H event is our regional horse show. It is our last activity as a club for the year, usually in July or August, and there is always so much variety for the classes that you can show your horse in. It is definitely a fun way to end our year.
My name is Timbrita Smith and I am 12 years old. I have been in the Rockyford Beef 4-H Club for 4 years and my project is beef. My favorite part of 4-H is learning how to raise an animal properly. This is my favorite part because when I'm older, I want to have my own ranch and I want to own cattle. And I want to make sure those cattle are healthy and they need to be fed and raised properly. Also, knowing how an animal's body works and how the food we eat isn't always easy work. My favorite event in our club is the club skiing trip. It is my favorite because it is such a good chance to get to know the other kids better and it is just such a fun time. I also love it because I get to see some of my friends and just have a good time overall.
My name is Caitlin Clemenson and I am 15 years old. I am speaking on behalf of the 4-H Hazard Beef Club, but I have been in the Strathmore Rusty Spurs for 5 years now. My project is horsemanship 4 to 7. 4-H has taught me how to be a confident speaker in front of larger crowds. My favorite event of the year is 4-H on Parade, which is held at the Calgary Stampede Grounds in May. There are so many different clubs coming together for one weekend, and I enjoy seeing all the different kinds of livestock they bring.
Hi, my name is Alana Neal, and I am 15 years old, and I belong to the Crowfoot 4-H Multi-Club. I've been in 4-H for 7 years, and my projects include sheep, archery, sewing, green certificate, and project in a weekend. 4-H has taught me multiple different things, including multi-judging and consumer decision-making. The most valuable skill I've learned is communication. I believe this is the most valuable skill as it has taught me to speak in front of an audience, which will help me in my future. My favorite 4-H activity is summer camps. I attended 5 camps this past summer at the Provincial 4-H Center at Battle Lake, as well as our regional winter camp. I enjoy being able to participate in camps because I get the opportunity to meet other 4-Hers from across the province. At 4-H camp, we learn canoeing, archery, robot programming, building different things like shelters and campfires, and my favorite, learning to two-step and line dance. This summer, I took my Wiley training so that I could be a youth leader at these camps. I really enjoy being able to use leadership skills and work with younger members.
My name is Kaylee Clemenson and I am 11 years old. I have been in Standard Sheep Club for 6 years and my project is a market lamb. Bridget taught me how to have patience when teaching my lamb to show properly. My favorite 4-H event is the district dance. This year the dance was held at the Hazard Hall. I have a lot of fun dancing with all my friends and learning the different line dances.
My name is Aubrey Schuster-Beda. I'm 10 years old and a member of Crowfoot 4-H Multi-Club in sewing. This is my second year in 4-H. In my first year, I learned how to use a sewing machine as well as a serger and completed 5 different sewing projects. I also enjoyed learning about the other projects at my club, like the sheep and canine projects. My favorite part about 4-H's are project meetings when I get to sew.
4-H Alberta is a registered charity recognized as the premier youth leadership organization in Alberta, working together in a vibrant, thriving environment. 4-H Alberta connects people, ideas, and communities for a lifetime of benefit. 4-H provides the youth with guidance, resources, and opportunities to be responsible, caring, and contributing leaders who affect positive change in the world. The Rockyford 4-H Beef Club is in its 75th year of existence, such a milestone for a small community. We have 22 members for the 2025 year. Our members reside in Rockyford, Standard, Strathmore, Irricana, and everywhere in between. The 4-H members throughout the year not only raise market steer for our Achievement Day by feeding, halter breaking, grooming, and keeping record books about the animal, they volunteer at various functions within the community. Some of these events the Rockyford 4-H Beef attend are helping the Rockyford Lions clean up after the functions in the hall. Each member donates a stocking for the seniors living at Sagewood and Strathmore, selling 50/50 tickets at the Rockyford Rodeo, volunteering in the concession pot booth at the Rockyford Rodeo. Aside from raising a market steer, members attend monthly meetings where they plan and attend events, functions, and information clinics. The Rockyford 4-H Beef Club is also part of the Wheatland District 4-H group, which brings like-minded youth together to solve from neighboring communities to collaborate, problem solve, and enjoy social events. The funds donated to the Rockyford 4-H Beef Club go towards the Achievement Day, where the members showcase their projects and compete for showmanship and grooming titles, and for the most prestigious awards of Grand and Reserve Championship. The functions we attend throughout the year, clinics we host to improve knowledge and skill for growing the steer projects, as well as the hall rentals, we have monthly meetings and year-end rewards and prizes for the members. Without the funds, we would not be able to keep the youth engaged in such a rewarding club.
The Strathmore Rusty Spurs 4-H Club has been running for 23 years, being established in 2002, and we focus on all things equine, community, and individual growth. Throughout for the 2024 to 2025 year, we have 13 active members, consisting of 3 juniors, 1 intermediate, and 9 seniors. We thank you for this opportunity to share more about our club and how much the 4-H program has impacted the lives of so many youth. Throughout the year, our club has lessons and meetings to provide consistent learning and fun. In the fall months of September and October, and then during the spring from March to June, we have weekly riding lessons where the members learn the necessary components of riding, caring for your horse, and having good horsemanship. The members start in levels 1 to 3, and once they've mastered the basics, they move up their ways to level 4 to 7, where they can take on multiple horse projects and focus on specific areas of the English and Western riding. Over the winter months, we shift to a bi-weekly schedule consisting of meetings, community service, and fun days. Our meetings are run by the members, and they take on a position for the year. These are roles such as president, treasurer, secretary, and many others, something for all members. Record books are a big part of our year, teaching members how to track their project's progress, feed, supplies, and financials during the year. Going into January and February, we put a big focus on public speaking. We have a workshop to give everyone some tips and tricks to being confident when speaking in front of a crowd and help them be successful in our competition. In May is 4-H on Parade, and in August is our regional horse show that the club attends. These are shows where the members can learn what it takes to show their horse and demonstrate the hard work that they have put into their equine partner over the year. Our many lessons and clinics are crucial for preparing the horses and riders for these shows. We really try and prioritize community service. This is an important part of our club and teaches valuable lessons to our members. Every year, we participate in Adopt a Family, where we provide support to families in need during the holidays. We also enjoy volunteering at local events such as the Strathmore Celebration of Lights, and a new idea that we are participating in this year is actually an idea that was started by a member in the States. We will be making Valentine's Day cards for the seniors and handing them out at the local senior homes. We are super grateful for our sponsors that support our club during the year, and this money goes towards lessons, clinics, fun days as a club for team bonding, our Achievement Day, and contributes to the cost for our club to attend the 4-H on Parade and regional shows. Through these experiences, the Rusty Spurs Club helps young people grow into responsible, compassionate leaders with and without their horses who are ready to make a positive impact in their community.
Thank you for having us here today to talk to you about the Stanford 4-H Sheep Club. For those of you who may not be familiar with 4-H, it is an organization that empowers young people to become leaders and great community members. Through a hands-on approach to learning, the 4-H program gives you the opportunity to develop life skills and work together toward common goals. And within that program, the 4-H Sheep Club is a shining example of how animals can teach responsibility, teamwork, and dedication. The Stanford 4-H Sheep Club has 21 members this year, consisting of 17 members and 4 cleavers. The age of members ranges from 9 to 14, and the cleavers range from 6 to 8. The club teaches us valuable leadership, responsibility, and respect, qualities that extend far beyond the barn and can shape every aspect of life. Raising sheep is no small task. It requires commitment, patience, and understanding of both the animals and the land. Whether it's feeding, grooming, or training, the members of the Stanford 4-H Sheep Club are putting in countless hours to ensure their animals are healthy, happy, and ready for shows. It is a lot of work, but is also incredibly rewarding. Not only do we learn the correct way to finish an animal, but we also gain valuable skills such as problem solving and time management. Being part of a 4-H Sheep Club isn't just all about work, though. We get together as a club to do many other fun activities. We enjoy skating parties, attending district dances, and other events as a club. In conclusion, the Stanford 4-H Sheep Club is so much more than a group dedicated to raising sheep. It's a community of young people who are learning life skills, developing leadership abilities, and making memories that will shape their futures. Thank you for your time and commitment supporting the next generation of leaders. And may our members grow, learn, and succeed, one sheep at a time. Thank you. Hazar 4-H Beef Club has been a long-established history in the community of Hazar. The club has always made it a big priority to try and be involved in helping the community. This year so far, our club has volunteered at Light Up the Night events, serving hot chocolate to the community, as well as made Christmas crafts for the seniors at the lodge at Bazzano. Our club prides itself on raising well-handled and well-finished calves. This year, our club has 13 members and 1 cleaver kid. We are raising 14 calves, including the fundraiser steer. Our club is looking forward to public speaking events coming up, as well as district and regional curling, mini shows, highway cleanup, and of course, the big day, our show and sale at the end of May. Hazar 4-H Beef is proud to be a part of the local community and the greater 4-H community.
The Crowfoot 4-H Multi-Club was established in 1977, being in operation for 47 years, and this year having 28 members. With a strong focus on both education and community service, the club provides young people with valuable skills and opportunities for personal development. Being a multi-club, they have many projects to choose from, these being archery, canine, sewing, sheep, green certificate, foods, sports for curling and swimming, creative options with wood carving, project in a weekend, and bringing along cleaver kits. Throughout the year, the club is involved in a variety of community service projects, including volunteering for the Strathmore Celebration of Lights, assisting with the wheatland conservation, wild game supper cleanup, and helping out at the Strathmore Lions Supper. Additionally, members support the Adult Day program at the Strathmore Hospital by decorating for Christmas and spending time doing crafts with clients. Members also look forward to events such as the Christmas party, highway cleanup, and a range of educational workshops that cover topics like communications, record books, diaries, judging slash communication decision making, stall signs, and woodworking. These workshops are designed to develop skills that will serve members in their personal and professional lives. One of the highlights of the year is Achievement Day, where members showcase their progress and accomplishments. The Crowfoot 4-H Multi-Club continues to be a positive force in its community, shaping the leaders of tomorrow while providing valuable learning experiences and fostering a sense of responsibility and service.
In conclusion, 4-H clubs offer a wonderful opportunity for young people to grow, learn, and develop important life skills. In a supportive and fun environment, the diverse opportunities within 4-H allow youth to explore their passions and build meaningful relationships. Whether it's through hands-on projects, leadership opportunities, or community service, 4-H empowers youth to become capable, confident, and caring individuals. We are so proud to be part of such an impactful program. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully you learned a little bit more about why 4-H is such a beneficial program.
Wow, great job, everybody. That was really incredible. Does anybody have any questions for the ladies? No? I just want to say I'm super proud of all of you for getting up here and presenting to us. I know it's super intimidating, especially with this kind of a group, but you did an amazing job. Alana is right, being able to public speak is going to take you lots of places in your life, and so you've got an amazing start. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming out to visit with us. Have a great day, guys. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we just need a motion to accept the presentation as information at this point. Jason has moved. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Thanks. Wow. That was so great. All right, we'll move on with our agenda. And we'll move to 2.3.1 under new business, draft Agriculture Service Board strategic plan. Go ahead, George.
Through the chair, it's George here. I just want to present the draft strategic plan. So I'll just read the report here. The Agricultural Service Board Vision, Mission, and Goals Policy 3.1.1 has a purpose to establish a strategic direction for the Ag Service Board, which is to be guided by the following vision, mission, and goals. So these vision, missions, and goals continue to be the same. Often a strategic direction sets the vision, while a strategic plan outlines how to achieve it with specific goals, timelines, and resources. Administration uses these terms interchangeably because the plan follows the policy's vision, missions, and goals, which aligns with the department's legislated requirements. The previous two revisions of the strategic plan were not titled as the strategic direction, but contained strategic priorities over directions. The draft strategic plan for 25 to 28 is attached to this report, and it's been reformatted from the previous document to enhance readability and better align with the county's Ag Service Board's policies, bylaws, and the provincial ASB's grants, terms, and conditions. The previously approved plan is also attached to this report for reference. So the previous two strategic plans dating back to 2021, we continue to uphold the core level of services and programs. And this meets the objectives and requirements for the legislative and resource components of the provincial Ag Service Board grants. So you can see that the annual legislated amount we get is about $166,000, while the resource management stream funding is about $74,000. A strategic plan is required for the department. It helps provide clear guidelines and structures for achieving priorities set forth in the vision, mission, and goals policy, and it helps ensure compliance with the legislation we are responsible for, the Ag Service Board Act, Pest, Weed, and Animal Health Act, and Soil Conservation Act. In addition, we have addressed several policies regarding this grant and strategic plan in the producer extension education and the ASB policy producer funding documents. The plan establishes clear goals and priorities for the municipality, detailing various activities, programs, and services. It may accommodate multiple objectives, ensuring flexibility to adapt to a potentially changing priorities. Regular reviews by the board and administration are encouraged to maintain its relevance and effectiveness. And the plan is attached, so I am available for any questions. Thank you.
Looks good, George. Any questions or comments on the strategic plan as presented? I just had a couple of just maybe discussion points, I guess. On page 26, where it talks about Wheatland County strategic priorities, there's 5 priorities there, and I was just curious if you can sort of explain or whatever how it seems like this is maybe rolled over from previous years. Is this something that we should decide what our strategic priorities are, or is this kind of like, I see some of them are certainly very still relevant and ongoing things that we always work on, but just curious how they come about.
Yeah, so these strategic priorities have come from the previous plans, and they help to ensure we meet our targets for the legislative and resource grant funding that we apply for every year and receive. So the strategic priority 1 has been the only one that I've updated, and so that was based on the old grader mower systems we were using, and now we have completely switched over to the tractor swing arm fleet now. So that's something we'll want to keep an eye out. And of course, strychnine and our gopher control stuff is always of top of mind for our board in this area of the province.
Yeah, absolutely.
So of course, if the board so feels fit to make any amendments to this, absolutely, we'd be open to that. Thank you.
Do we feel that those are the, well, so these align with the requirements of the provincial Ag Service Board grant, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And I actually did bring the draft plan to the provincial Ag Service Board manager, and she said it was one of the best plans she's seen so far. So
Fantastic. Good job. Yeah. Any other comments or discussion points?
Maybe just a comment on that same page for priority 3. Just want to share appreciation for that. It's something that we have seen that's been relatively debilitating for producers with cutbacks, and it'll be interesting to just see how that can be supported and bringing in the technical support. How I read that is producers, and how I would communicate that to producers is that they could approach you for specific questions, and we would go and get that advice. So I just appreciated that being added in. That is something that I hear from producers, given the cutbacks we've continuously seen over the last decade.
Yes. Very good. Then if there's no other discussion, maybe.
I'll move that the board approve the 2025-2027 Wheatland County Agriculture Service Board strategic plan as presented.
Thank you, Jason. Any further discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Next item on our agenda is the 2026 Ag Service Board Summer Tour.
good morning again, and board. This is George from administration again. I'm going to discuss this RFD report, and then we're going to have Russell Montrath come up to the podium and discuss the business case. So I'm just I'll go through this report here. So discussions regarding hosting a provincially attended ASB tour date back to 2018, with the Wheatland County Ag Service Board committing to host a tour in 22. Due to COVID-19 and economic concerns, the decision was made to cancel the 22 tour, and no other municipalities have volunteered to host the event since. Consecutively, when Wheatland planned to host in 22, Lethbridge County was going to host in 23, and they had canceled as well. And to my knowledge, I have talked to Lethbridge County, and they have no interest in starting this again anytime soon. I just want to put that in there. At the October 2nd, 24 ASB meeting, we passed the resolution that the board directed administration to draft a terms of reference for ASB tour committee, and that they present a request to Wheatland County Council for allocation of funds for the consultant, and that they draft a hiring policy and bring back a summer tour coordinator to bring a report here. So on November 12th, council approved the budget to hire the tour coordinator, and we've had Russ starting in early December, and he has drafted the business case and terms of reference for the board's consideration. Attached are the reports of the summer tour business case and the draft of the Ag Service Board committee terms of reference. So estimated expenses in 2025 for preparation of the proposed 2026 ASB Summer Tour were included within the 2025 interim operating budget approved by Council. Administration will update the estimate required to 2025 and projected 2026 tour budget during the future budget review and approval process as required, as additional costs and revenue data becomes more defined. The attached business case outlines the strategic relevance, administrative duties, and fiscal details, all of which are crucial for hosting a successful event. Pardon me. A successful event. The tour will not only highlight agricultural endeavors in Wheatland County, but also showcase the county's dedication to fostering collaboration and education within the agricultural community. As the last provincially attended ASB Summer Tour was hosted by Strathcona in 2018, a tour in 2026 is likely to generate significant provincial interest and participation. The draft Agricultural Service Board Tour Summer Committee Terms of Reference aims to assist the Ag Service Board and administration in the decision-making process. If approved, this document will enhance transparency and coordination among the board, administration, hosts, registrants, and other collaborators. Wheatland County is well positioned to host a successful ASB Summer Tour in the July of 2026. With a variety of potentially engaging tour stops, qualified caterers, and a variety of accommodations. Wheatland County has all the necessary elements to ensure a memorable tour. The proactive steps taken demonstrate that Wheatland County's Ag Service Board's commitments to potentially delivering a high-quality tour that would educate and foster collaboration within the agricultural community. Subject to the board's review and approval, administration's recommendations for the board resolutions are provided at the beginning of this report in sequential order. If the board approves resolutions 1 through 3, it is further recommended that during the January 15th, 2025 ASB meeting, the board appoint the necessary number of agricultural tour committee members as outlined in resolution 4 and in accordance with the approved terms of reference. Thank you. I'm available for questions, and we will hand it over to Russ.
Thanks, George. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see everyone again. I have to say it was a pleasure to come back to the county and to work on this business case. So hopefully it'll help you make a decision whether you want to proceed with the tour or not. And of course, I was involved with the one we were going to have in 2022 that unfortunately didn't go ahead. So yeah, we'll get into things with the business case. So provincially, tours have been held for the better part of 60 years, with the exception of a few years. And unfortunately, there hasn't been one since 2018, and that was held in Strathcona County. So as George mentioned, I think a tour held in 2026 would be well received across the province. So yeah, it would be nice to see them come back. Of course, the purpose for tours over the years have been an opportunity for ASB members to engage with each other, much like at conferences, to learn from each other, and also as a showcase for agriculture in an area and just for the area in general. So when looking at the reasons to have a tour. Obviously, cost is one of the major reasons, but I mean, it's not the only reason. So I thought it'd be important to look at the strategic relevance. And as we've gone through the ASB strategic plan, I think that is an important component. So not only from the ASB standpoint, but just from the county's overall strategic plan, other documents like the MDP and the economic development strategy, and how their strategies, goals, if a tour would fit into these. So first with the council strategic plan, the mission statement, where innovation meets tradition, and the first thing I thought of when I read that was that would be the perfect theme for an ASB tour. And you look at Pillar 1, diverse and thriving economy, and the agricultural strategies that are under that. The county will focus on identifying and promoting innovations in ag production, tourism, and supporting long-standing agricultural producers. Also strategic partnerships, so it would help working with other agencies, organizations within the county, towns, villages, and for the benefit of the whole region, not just the county. So obviously those strategic priorities fit very well. The Ag Environment Strategic Plan obviously fits very well, committed to strengthening, promoting, supporting agriculture and the environment within the municipality, and strategic priority for promote the local ag industry. So again, fits very well. The department will focus on promoting the county's ag industry, strengthening relationships within the ag community, and building partnerships with local agribusiness. Our MDP talks about economic prosperity. Obviously, it makes sense with discussion around economic growth, and within that, there's opportunities to contribute to this growth through tourism objectives. So highlight the county's agricultural heritage, diversify ag opportunities into agritourism, culinary tourism, and rural tourism. Increase business visitation through investment attraction, such as hosting conferences and overnight stays or tours. And then our economic development strategy, again, focusing on tourism as an economic driver. So this tour would fit very well into that. Yeah, a little bit. So as you can see, all the strategic priorities within the various Wheatland County plans would fit very well with hosting a provincial ASB tour. So looking at a needs assessment, challenges that would come up, obviously staffing constraints would be a concern. Hiring a tour coordinator would help alleviate some of those concerns. There will be, because of the size of this type of venture, there will be additional needs from staffing other than just a tour coordinator, particularly within the ag department, but through the whole organization, especially leading up to and the week of the tour. The seasonal demands, obviously in the summer, it'll coincide with the busy tourist season. It most likely would be between the Calgary Stampede and the Strathmore Stampede. So there may be challenges occurring, securing transportation or other services that'll be busy with those events. So that would be a consideration. And then cost, of course, is always a consideration. Cost to the county, cost to our ratepayers. Who is impacted? Again, as I mentioned, all departments would be impacted, particularly the week of and even leading up to. So I've listed just a number of things, staff, volunteer tasks, just to kind of give you an idea of what, the scale of this project would take and how many different moving parts there would be. So there is a lot of things that would take additional volunteers, staff to work on. So benefits of hosting the tour, we've discussed the strategic goals, which obviously aligns very well with the strategic goals of the county. An increased awareness of Wheatland County by bringing in numerous visitors, up to 500. The tour will highlight our ag industry, local business, amenities, etc., both locally and provincially. Long-term economic impact, it obviously will be a boost for that week that the tour is held, but there is potential from people coming back because of word of mouth, you know, if there's a positive experience from participants in the tour. Networking, learning opportunities, as I mentioned, for ASB members to interact with other members from across the province. A local economic boost, of course, there's going to be a lot of money that will go into the local economy, hotels, accommodations, local caterers, money that will be spent, again, through other local businesses. I did try to find some data on, you know, what tourism does bring. And the only thing I could find was based on 2019 Tourism Alberta data. Average visitor spending is $147 per day. So for a tour like this, it would bring in an estimated $220,000. So, and I would say it would be even more than that, just because this is a planned event with, you know, specific activities and banquets and entertainment, etc. So once, if you do decide to go ahead with the tour, kind of laid out the project work plan, just 4 points of how things would proceed from the designation of a tour committee and just the different components of that moving forward. So finances, of course, is I know going to be one of the bigger considerations for hosting a tour. So I put together a budget based on, you know, current numbers as well as what previous municipalities have spent on tours. So in 2025, estimated expenses of just shy of $100,000, tour coordinator, committee meetings, as well as deposits for various things like transportation, facilities, etc. In 2026, the bulk of expenses would come. Food services is going to be primarily or the highest expense. And these numbers were taken just from a local caterer. So realizing, you know, they may go up. Banquets maybe a little bit more than what I've got listed, but I think breakfasts, those sort of things could be a little less. Facilities, those numbers are based on the Strathmore Civic Center booking, realizing that you may want to go out into the county or smaller, a village or a hamlet to host this. And that would be discussions that would be had at the committee level. Things like at the audiovisual rentals, again, will depend where the tour is hosted. Strathmore, I believe the Civic Center does have those types of things. If you host it somewhere else, there's expenses like that that would have to be considered. Transportation, probably need 9 buses, and that's, you know, for close to 500 delegates and partners. So that would remain to be seen. Things like shuttles from hotels to the main center for where you're having the tour out of. Entertainment, and I've kind of planned on things starting on a Monday with possibly optional tours, Tuesday night entertainment, as well as Wednesday. And those numbers could be adjusted. I've got $30,000 for Wednesday evening, which is, you know, a substantial amount. So that could be adjusted down if cost concerns become too much. The committee, 10 full days of meetings for 5 members, and I think that'll kind of flesh itself out as time goes on through the year. There may be more half-day meetings than full-day meetings, but I think leading up to the tour, you know, a month or 2 before, there probably will be, you know, a number of meetings that need to be had to finalize things. Communications and promotions, that was taken primarily from what other municipalities have spent on their tours, just for various things. And then miscellaneous expenses, including the tour coordinator. Online registration fees is for using a service like Eventbrite. Take a percentage of the registration for that service. So total estimated expenses of around $400,000. I think the last 2 tours were around $350,000 budgeted. So I think that's reasonable considering, you know, it's been a while and everything has obviously gone up over the years. So if you look at the next page, estimated revenue. So what I've done is there's 3 options with a dollar amount attached to the registration. So option 1, a delegate partner youth tour with the registration fee of $750, $550 and $200. And then I also included what break-even costs would be with that $400,000 budget. So obviously the registrations are getting up there for a break-even. Option 2, again, a delegate partner youth tour with a little bit more in registration fees. And option 3, just everybody on the same tour, no delegate partner tour. I know that was discussed the last time we were looking at hosting a tour. It's a possibility, but there may be some logistic concerns when you're having that many people, that many buses visiting the same sites through a day. So from 327,000 to about 350,000 potential revenues. None of this includes donations, potential donations that may come in. So county expenditure at the end of the day is what I know we would be, our main concern. Option 1, be looking at potentially a $72,000 expenditure. Option 2, just shy of 50,000, and option 3, just over 50. So I've included $25,000 in donation to help offset those costs, and those costs would be then, from around 22,000 up to just shy of 50,000 as potential county contributions to the tour. The bottom numbers are staff time in kind, and that's just guesstimates. The 2025 would be 1 staff member for 1 day a week throughout the year, and I think that's going to be more than is needed. But they are costs. Obviously, they're budgeted for already in staff wages, but they should be taken into consideration. 2026 have a cost of $100,000, and again, it's probably overstated, but that's 20 staff for 15 days throughout the year. But when you look at things like if you grade roads, mow roads for the tour, like it all adds up in work from staff outside of ASB, and ASB staff, the entire staff will be focused on, the tour, hopefully through that, that critical time. So I think, from your standpoint, obviously there's a number of factors that you would weigh out in deciding whether to host a tour or not. But I think if you look at the, weigh the costs against the strategic relevance, how they fit, the tour benefits, for the area as a whole, and compare them to those potential costs, should tell you whether you feel that this tour is worth having or not. But I think it fits very well within all the strategic priorities of the county, and would be, a boon not only for the county, but actually for the whole area as well. So they have also started working on kind of a detailed plan if you do go ahead with it. I know there was a list of possible visits or places that could be used as tour stops. So I've adjusted that some, and I think there's about 70 that I have right now. 99% are all within the municipality. A few of the kids tours are like within town of Strathmore or other areas, but so there is, a wide range of visits, of tour stops that we could have, ranging from all agriculture if you wanted, or agriculture and industry, which some other municipalities have done over the years. So yeah, there's lots that would be there to choose from, and for the committee to consider if you go ahead with the tour. So I think if I missed anything, George, that you want to add?
I'd just like to add that we based a lot of this fiscal information on the previous tours. So Strathcona, County of Newell have been very forthcoming in sharing all their information with us. So we really appreciate that. And The terms of reference for the potential committee is attached to the report as well. So I'm available, of course, for questions.
Maybe through the chair, just as well with that. I mean, there is the potential to break even. I definitely wouldn't guarantee that moving forward, but I know one of the municipalities from the past, they were close to breaking even. So it is possible depending on how you do it. But because it's been so long since there has been a tour hosted, there's a few more unknowns, I think, about what the actual cost will be. So.
Questions?
One question just related to ticket pricing. I appreciate the different approaches or different showcases. I guess, given the inflation and the cost going up, what were past tickets? Sorry for having never been attended. I'm curious where the average of the last 3 events, what tickets, like what we would expect.
Yeah, through the chair, the last one was $550 for delegates.
Sorry, $150?
$550, sorry. 300.
Holy crap.
$550 for
Sorry.
delegates, $350 for partners, and $100 for youth. That was Strathcona. And so I think if you look at other conferences as well, and I'm not exactly sure on the cost, but what registration would be for current like provincial ASB tour or RMA conferences, I think that $750 would probably be in line with those. And considering there's, substantially more with a tour than there would be at a conference as far as events.
Scott?
Thank you. I don't know how much you guys have discussed this before, but I'm back on the board, so I'm going to kind of ask some questions here. How many days is this supposed to run?
Well, ultimately, it depends on the committee. It's up to us.
So that hasn't been established.
Historically, there's an optional day of tours, something like a golf tour, say, or golf tournament, like on a Monday, and then a Tuesday, Wednesday of actual tour days, and then potentially a morning where there's a breakfast on the Thursday when everybody parts ways, basically. So 2 main days of tours and an optional day of tours is what's historically happened. But again, this would be our tour. It'd be completely up to the committee and the board how they wanted to structure it. So,
can I go further? I just kind of did a brief overview of stuff I've attended the last couple of years. About $300 a day is roughly what I figured out the average to be per person to go to anything. And I noticed this is a really good document, but there's nothing really here for sponsorship. So like I'm thinking if Nutrien was like if we did a tour to Nutrien, which is a big fertilizer plant, they would probably, I mean, if you have a tour of them, it wouldn't be hard to get something back out of them or hosting in one of the events or something. And also something that I think we should look at too is how many colonies do we have within Wheatland County that would probably be more than happy to help feed some people? And they have the facilities that are on site and it's on the tour area, which we could incorporate that, which, I mean, it is part of us. It is part of agriculture in Wheatland County, whether we like it or not. They are there. They have a lot of things that they can offer and show. I can think of the one place we went to where they were recycling plastic bags and taking all rag plastic. I think they're still doing that, which would be fantastic to show. So I think there's a lot of ways to work with this and so to me, it doesn't matter if we break even, but if we can lower the cost and add value add with, there's so much going on here.
Just to jump on to Scott's point, is that what most of the previous municipalities budgeted was about 25,000 for fundraising?
It is just something that ranged dramatically. Some didn't budget at all and just pursued it. So that's why I included $25,000 as potential, not really having any idea, but realizing that that would be something we'd pursue. So, and just to err on the side of caution, in my mind, it's safer to think you won't get anything in, and it would be just a bonus. But obviously, yeah, that would be pursued vigorously as long as it did start to look into potential grants, like through Tourism Alberta. I didn't see anything specifically that would fit, but that would be another potential. But I think it would be a matter of, sending out letters, visiting potential sponsors. So, and I think, it could amount to, way more than 25,000. It's just, who knows, so.
Glenn?
I think if you're going to compare to other municipalities, Strathcona owns the swimming pool, the skating rink, the facilities itself. And one of the tours we went to was way up north, Sunshine, is it called? Sunrise? Yeah, Sunrise. It was out in a community that was half the size of Rosebud. They had an arena there that they owned, and they had no owned facilities, so they made do with what they had. And then there's other places that they had to rent, like if we rented the rental of the Civic Center, maybe we could look at the school where we have a stake, the county has a stake in that building. Maybe that would be something if we could eat there. Or maybe we just move out into one of the villages or even Galician with where we own the arena. I don't know if the arenas are bigger enough anymore, because I'm thinking this is going to be a well-attended event. So they're all considerations. It's hard to compare because of logistics and because of what we own as a county and partnerships, yeah. So to me, the budget looks sensible. I know you got 500 participants, and they all like to have in their packages, I don't know what we would give away, but you got prizes, door prizes on all the bus tours, you got door prizes at the entertainment, and you got gifts for the entertainers. Maybe that budget's a little low, but it wouldn't be, you wouldn't add much more, but outside of that, I think it's something to start with.
Just one more question for you, Russ. So with option 3, would that change by combining the partner and the delegate tour, would that change the staffing costs?
Not so much the staffing costs. Option 3 is just, I don't know logistically if it's possible to have that many people visiting the same sites and how that would be done. Most of the tours in the past, again, like I said, for comparison, they'll have the delegates and partner tours, and they could have 2 delegate tours on one side of the county and on the other, as well as partner tours, just to kind of ease, congestion at tour stops. So there would just have to be some thought. Originally, that was my preference, was to have just one tour, then everybody's on the same tour, rather than, trying to have multiple tours within one overreaching. So it just would require some thought into how that could actually be done. Because like I said, if you have the 500 people, I think I got 50 would be considered or would be kids. So 450 total through one day, trying to go through, the same stops would be a challenge. So, and we would have to think about the tour stops themselves, what they can actually accommodate, right? How many people they can accommodate at a time, biosecurity concerns as well, and livestock operations, well, in any operation in general. So there's just so many moving parts that have to be taken into consideration, and whether, it's a big, I can't overemphasize the, how much work and organization it will take from the entire organization to make it happen.
So I think we have George, and then Glenn, no, you're good. And I just also want to point out that Amber is online. I didn't realize, but she is online. So Amber, if you have any comments, we'll let George go, but if you have any comments, you can chime in too.
Through the chair, I just want to point out that I've pre-drafted a sponsorship letter for this, and regarding the Wheatland County Eco Buffer Tree Project regarding sponsorship, we garnered a lot of sponsorship through that program. So there is a lot of potential out there. I'm not going to promise anything, of course, but from my point of view, there is a lot of opportunity out there to gain sponsorship. So I'd just like to point that out. It seems that it's a really great community out here. So, and I think for 2025, we are hosting an Alice tour as well. So that will be a nice precursor if the board decides to go ahead with this project.
Ryan?
Just adding to what Scott said, I feel strongly like I understand why we didn't budget higher on donations, but I feel strongly that there's more opportunity there. And then just an observation looking at your, even your staff cost plus a potential of up to 50,000, the ROIs there when you look at the investment in the community, and that is notwithstanding the long-term benefit that we're gonna have a hard time calculating that.
Scott?
I think too, a lot of these options can be vetted out before. I'm just thinking some of the ones I've attended where they've got options if you want to go golfing or if you want to do this, and there's a deadline so you can narrow down and kind of say there's only seats available, and then you pre-book that. I mean, that's committee work, right? Once we get into that. There's also probably an option for the transportation to work with like Strathcona County. Maybe they could send some buses down here and we could rent them from them cheaper. Things like that, and work with maybe even City of Calgary has, if you got enough time, and we are all municipalities, right? And that's where you can work together, and I'm sure we could figure something out locally or, with other counties and whatnot too, so. At cost, right? Instead of you having to bring private vendors in. So.
Just want to open it up to Amber. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, thank you, Chair LaPrice. First of all, just want to thank Russ for all of the work on this. I think the business case in the report is brilliant and really lays out sort of all of the considerations. I'm fully supportive of moving forward. I think there's a way to do this with minimal or potentially no financial cost to the county beyond our in kind. I do agree with the comments around corporate support and donations, and I think there are some excellent opportunities with that. And I think it would be an incredible opportunity to showcase and highlight the innovation and the incredible agricultural producers that we have in Wheatland County. So fully supportive and appreciate the work. I don't have any questions at this point. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Anybody else?
No, I think we'll get into the weeds if we keep talking, and I think that's the point of the committee. So I'll move that the board accept the 2026 Ag Service Board Summer Tour Business Case as information.
Thanks, Jason. I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. Oh, Amber, sorry. Do we need to do this? Yeah, we'll have
I'm in favor. I can just add, if you could see everybody else, I'm in favor.
Everybody else was in favor, so thank you, Amber. I probably should call each name. Shanna's giving me the eye, sorry. Okay, well, that's carried. There's another motion. Sorry. Do we want to go through the terms of reference as another document? Or we've all read it. Are there any questions about the committee terms of reference? George, do you have anything to add on that, or?
Through the chair, it is pretty standardized in there. I think if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, I thought it was very well laid out. It says exactly what the committee will be responsible for and kind of the time commitment sort of an estimate. So
I'll move that the board approve the Wheatland County Agricultural Service Board Summer Tour Committee terms of reference as presented. Thanks. A lot of capitals in a row.
Thanks, Member Kester. Any discussion? I'll call the question. Member Eichert?
In favor.
Member Clausen?
In favor.
Member Kester?
Favor.
Member Larson?
In favor.
Member Wilson?
In favor.
Member Greer?
In favor.
Member Link?
In favor.
And I'm in favor. That is carried. Thanks, everyone. Third motion.
Chair
think-
Laprise, I'll move that the board, oh, sorry.
I can move that the board directs administration to proceed with the planning and organization for Wheatland County to host an agricultural services board summer tour in 2026.
Thank you very much for the motion. I'll call the question. Member Eichert,
In favor?
Member Clausen,
In favor.
Member Kester,
Favor.
Member Larson,
In favor.
Member Wilson,
In favor.
Member Greer,
In favor?
Member Link,
In favor.
and I'm in favor. That is carried. Woo-hoo! Congratulations, everybody. You're starting on an exciting new endeavor. Then a fourth motion considering membership in the committee. Member Link, did you want to make a motion?
I don't know if we want to discuss who might be interested. I would certainly let my name stand for the committee.
Perfect. Anybody else want to, also I did speak with Member Bigger, who is not in attendance today, but she did say that she would be interested in sitting on this committee. Anybody else want to put their names forward? Member Kester? Yep. I would be interested. Member Wilson? Yes. That's 5 and an alternate.
I'll put my name forward as the alternate.
Okay. I've got 5 and an alternate,
With
yeah.
name 6 as alternate.
Okay, so we have Link, Bigger, Kester, Wilson, Laprise, and an alternate of Eichert. Does anybody want to just formally make that motion?
I'll move that the board appoints members stated above as to the Wheatland County Agricultural Service Board Summer Tour Committee.
Fantastic. Any further discussion? Oh, Member Clausen?
I just think that it is an election year, so some of this could change unless they want members that aren't elected to stay on. That'll be a consideration that will happen, whether we want it to or not. It may work out, it may not. I have no idea, but just a point.
You're right. We'll have to reevaluate after October at our, I guess at our next January meeting, we'll have to.
There's nothing saying that it has to be a board member to be on the committee either.
To be an Ag Service Board member?
I don't think so.
I would think that would be important though.
Maybe that
If
should
there was
be
new
in our
people
terms
sitting
of-
in here and they didn't have the carryover, but I think you should leave it open. To be reviewed at organizational meeting time or something. Should be reviewed, this committee should be reviewed at organizational meeting yearly.
I'm just looking at the terms of reference to see if there's any mention of membership. Just a second here. All committee members shall be
On
selected
page,
ASB and appointed by the ASB. So yes, they would have to be sitting on this board. So yeah,
Just to
yeah, and
jump,
on page 48 under membership term, it says appointed members will serve on the committee until the tour is completed. They resign, they are removed by the ASB, or they are no longer a member of the ASB. So it is clear that you would need to maintain membership on the ASB board.
Perfect.
yeah, I don't think that's an issue. It would just be something we'll have to readdress at the time. Yep. Okay. Any other discussion on that? I'll call the question. Member Eichert.
In favor?
Member Clausen.
In favor.
Member Kester.
Favor?
Member Larson.
in favor.
Member Wilson.
In favor.
Member Greer.
In favor?
Member Link.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. That's carried. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much, Russ. That was an excellent presentation and yeah, just really compelling argument as to the linkages to our strategic plan at all levels of the organization. So yeah, kind of made it an easier decision when you lay it out like that. So thank you so much. I can't wait to work with you. All right. How's everyone doing? Are we okay to keep going? Take a 5-minute break? Okay, we'll recess for 5 minutes. All right, everyone, I will call the meeting back to order. We'll continue on with our agenda. We have item 2.3.3, update to ASB scholarship policy. George?
Thank you, George here from administration. So I'd just like to talk about the report here. So as part of an initiative to introduce a new Wheatland County Agricultural Service Board awards policy and establish a scholarship and awards committee, administration recommends that the board also approve updates to the existing ASB bursary policy. A draft of the updated policy is attached for the board's review. There's 2 versions of the draft that are provided, track changes version and a clean version. The proposed updates retain the original meaning and intent of the bursary policy, but include significant reorganization, rewording, and expansion of the sections to enhance clarity and structure. As part of these updates, administration also recommends renaming the policy from the bursary policy to the scholarship policy. While bursary often implies needs-based financial assistance, scholarship typically denotes awards based on individual achievement. Since the Ag Service Board's academic awards program aligns more closely with the scholarship model, this change would more accurately reflect its purpose and criteria. That is the end of this report. I'm available for questions.
Excellent. Any questions or comments on the revised policy? Member Kester?
It says here you must reside within the boundaries of
I wondered about that too, whether we should say be a ratepayer of Wheatland County or something to that effect, but it's, yeah, for discussion.
So previously we did have discussion about that because we have awarded people inside of the town of Strathmore before. And so we kind of were leaning on that the committee would make the decision based on that. So we didn't want to preclude anyone. So we kind of left it a little bit open for the committee to make the determination and recommendation to the Ag Service Board.
circumstances will be discussed by the committee for the appropriateness at the time. I'm okay with them.
Just through the chair, it might, just to clarify the language, it might be worth, I mean, the boundaries of the town and the villages are technically not inside the county, even though they're sort of enveloped inside. So if the board does want to consider potential applicants from the villages in the town, it might be worth just updating that language to make that clear in the policy.
Oh, Member Kester, could you turn on your microphone?
To push it, sometimes I'm too fast, I guess. Then I would be in favor of reside within the outer boundaries of Wheatland County.
Member Eichert?
But you could have a situation where you've got, for lack of, I'll use the word farm help, that are living in the community, or living in the municipality inside of Wheatland County. And they're going on to an agricultural course that's going to benefit an operator in Wheatland County, a ratepayer in Wheatland County. So I think, I like the idea that the committee has the ability to decide where it's coming from, because it's not necessarily benefiting. There could be an end benefit from the educational people. So,
yep.
Yeah, so I like the idea that the committee has the, if it's in the boundaries of Wheatland County. I don't think it's going to be very often it's going to help, but I know of several instances where people live in town and actually work in the county on an agricultural business.
Not only that, but I agree with both Glenn and Tom. I mean, out east, we're aware of this. I mean, you can live on the wrong side of the border, but farm completely in Wheatland County, and you go to school in Strathmore or the new school, Wheatland Crossing, but you're just in Newell or like, and down in your area there, those kind of little jig-jags, a lot of people are in the same boat. So I think it can be up to the discretion of the committee, so long as there's ties to the county itself.
I agree with all of that. I also, I think that we should leave it sort of ambiguous so that people will apply thinking that they live within the boundaries, and even if they are in a village, and it's up to the committee to decide if there's lots of people applying, maybe they get a little less, or maybe there's nobody applying and they get more, or whatever. It's be for a committee decision. Everybody okay with that? I also wanted to just ask about the formal proof of successful completion of the industry recognized ag and food production examination. Is that just the, we do just a quick questionnaire and all of the information is found on our website type thing? Is that how that works? Yeah. Okay.
That's correct. And in the new policy, I think we have removed that examination portion as well. The essay is still a requirement of that in the application.
Sorry.
Or in the policy.
We've removed.
Oh, I'm sorry, we left it there. Pardon me.
Are we wanting to keep it in?
It's up to the board. If they like that, that's fine. It's great information to have, and we keep the questionnaire kind of short. It's fine if we want to include it. It's nice to include the information about Wheatland County to reiterate to the applicants, but if the board feels that we don't need that to make a determination, then that is fine as well.
I feel like it should be more just labeled differently, that it's maybe a Wheatland County knowledge, not exam, but I don't know, just that we like them to understand Wheatland County and agriculture within Wheatland County, but I don't know. I'm not going to die on this hill, but I find the language just a little bit odd, I guess. What if we said formal proof of successful completion of a Wheatland County knowledge test? Something like that. I don't know. Leave it as it? Yeah, okay. It is good.
I understand what you're saying. I just don't know how to read. I just don't know what sounds better.
Yeah.
Because even a written test, I don't think it's really necessary. If you were to be able to have a verbal understanding with the applicants of the region and the agriculture industries within it, and if they can, I think it's easier to go forward and really use these if you can have those conversations. Anybody can go on, I mean, on a chat GPT or whatever it is now and type anything they want. So having that conversation with those individuals is probably more important than a written test.
Yeah. Member Kester?
I agree. I also think instead of a written test, just stick with the biography of the individual. So if they're successful, it can go on. This person won, and people would know who we give it to. I think that would be for me, the only written requirement. Besides all the technical ones, graduated and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if excluding the test, but including some criteria about the bio, including what their tie is to Wheatland County, maybe is kind of capturing a couple of the different concerns.
Yeah, I mean, it says the essay introducing the applicant, outlining their career goals, and highlighting any volunteer or extracurricular contributions to their local community or school. Maybe we could add local community or school and their I don't know. Their local knowledge of the county. A questionnaire.
Just to the board, maybe a recommendation could be, say, something like proof of knowledge of the agricultural and food production field within Wheatland County or something like that.
Sure, yeah, that would be good. Excellent. We wouldn't be stumbling along. Good job, Brad. All right. Any other comments or questions about the policy? If not, then maybe a motion to approve as amended. Thanks, Member Kester. Any other discussion? I'll call the question. Member Eichert?
In favor.
Member Klassen?
In favor.
Member Kester?
Favor.
Member Larson?
In favor.
Member Wilson?
In favor.
Member Greer?
In favor.
Member Link?
In favor.
And I am in favor. That is carried. Thanks, everyone. Next on our list is the ASB awards policy.
Good morning again. George here from administration. I will present on this report, ASB awards policy. Background and discussion. The creation of an awards policy is recommended to enhance transparency and ensure the fair allocation of awards through clear and consistent guidelines. This initiative aims to strengthen equity, efficiency, and accountability. Administration will rely on the policies and procedures specified within the board-approved framework when managing the awards program. At the July 3rd, 2024 Ag Service Board meeting, the following resolution was passed: that the board direct administration to integrate the amendments as discussed into the awards policy for future board's consideration. A significant requested amendment to the draft awards policy presented on July 3rd, 2024 was the inclusion of the Master Farm Family Award. This new award category has been incorporated into the updated draft policy. The Master Farm Family Award is designed to honor families who excel in technical farm production, sustainability practices, team-based farm business management, involvement in the agricultural industry, and community service. Each year, this award, if approved as part of the ASB awards policy, will be presented to the ASB to a family that exemplifies these values. Additionally, the board directed administration to include the BMO Farm Family Award and the Alberta Century Farm and Ranch Award within the awards policy. Historically, the board has supported these external awards by submitting local nominations to the respective organizations. By formally including these awards, Wheatland County's Ag Service Board recognizes the agricultural and environmental stewardship efforts of its residents. Both awards have been incorporated into the updated draft policy. The updated awards policy outlines the policies and procedures for the ASB's administration's activities related to the following awards: the Master Farm Family Award, Community Stewardship, Youth Stewardship, Women in Agriculture, and the J. Laszlo Stewardship Award, and externally, the BMO Farm Family Award and the Alberta Century Farm and Ranch Award. The updated draft of the proposed awards policy is attached to this report for the board's consideration. Through the management and support of the awards program, the ASB encourages the recognition of individuals and families who undertake meaningful actions to enrich their communities. Supporting the awards program aligns with the ASB's vision, missions, and goals. Implementing an awards policy will enhance the decision-making process for the ASB awards, fostering greater clarity and ensuring the effective acknowledgement of deserving recipients. Thank you. I'm available for questions.
Thanks, George. I thought the policy was very well written, actually. Any questions or comments about it? I like that it kind of consolidates and clarifies all of our awards and has a procedures section that really outlines the exactly what will happen, when it'll happen, who will do it. It's very well written, I think. I wondered if we needed a different schedule for the BMO awards. I know that they're earlier than, so we're contemplating our ASB awards deadline of December 31st, but what is the deadline for the BMO?
Through the chair.
Changed that, haven't they?
George here. So that BMO award deadline is generally in the end of January. However, this year it was the 8th, and we did get an extended deadline if we wanted to put forward a nomination. It has changed over the years a little bit, so I think that this January meeting is kind of our last opportunity to make that nomination. So, and regarding the awarding, the committee, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I'll just.
Yep. So we're thinking the BMO awards are going to continue to be the end of January, or January 8th is the new.
January 8th is this year's deadline. However, it had always been towards the end of January previously. So they're very
flexible.
Yeah, they're flexible in the deadline here. Thank you.
Okay. So if we kept the December 31st deadline for nominations and then we had a committee meeting before the 1st January, that's kind of what we would have to have a decision at this meeting. So we'd have to have a committee meeting before this meeting.
Yes, and
between December 31st.
Yes, and then the committee should meet again before the April ASB meeting as well to make the determination of award recipients.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments? Member Larson?
I don't have a comment. I'm going to move that the board approve the ASB awards policy as presented.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion? I'll call the question. Member Eichert?
In favor.
Member Klassen?
In favor.
Member Kester?
In favor.
Member Larson?
In favor.
Member Wilson?
In favor.
Member Greer?
In favor.
Member Link?
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Just before we move on, there was just one small typo on page 68 that I think I should just, under the BMO Farm Family Award, we talk about halfway through the paragraph there describing it, to support operational, and it says communal aspects of farm life. I think that's maybe community. Yeah, okay. That was all. All right. We shall move on to the ASB Scholarship and Awards Committee terms of reference and member appointments.
Great, George here from administration again to talk about this report. So there's a two-part resolution to this one. And in the report, provision is given to the Ag Service Board to appoint an advisory committee relating to its function as a board. And at the April 3rd, 2024 ASB meeting, the following resolution was passed: that the board direct administration to create a draft terms of reference for the ASB Bursary and Awards Committee, which is now the ASB Scholarship and Awards Committee, and present it to the board's consideration at a future ASB meeting. The Wheatland County ASB offers various scholarships and awards aimed at recognizing individuals in the community. Terms of reference document is recommended for the Scholarship and Awards Committee to enhance transparency, to ensure fair allocation of the awards and bursaries, the awards and scholarships with clear guidelines. A draft terms of reference document is attached for the board's consideration. Subject to the board's review and approval, administration's recommendation for the board resolutions are provided at the beginning of this report in sequential order. If the board approves resolution 1, it is further recommended that during the meeting, the board appoint the necessary number of scholarship and award committee members as outlined in resolution 2 and in accordance with the approved terms of reference. Thank you. I'm available for any questions.
Thanks, George. Any questions or comments about the terms of reference? Again, I thought it was very well written. It's nice and clear. Everybody understands their role. It's very good. Member Kester.
I'll move that the board approve the Wheatland County Agricultural Service Board Scholarship Awards Committee terms of reference and awards committee terms of reference as presented.
Thank you. Any discussion? I'll call the question. Member Eichert.
In favor.
Member Clausen.
In favor.
Member Kester.
In favor.
Member Larson.
In favor.
Member Wilson.
In favor.
Member Greer.
In favor.
Member Link.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. That is carried. We want to call for nominations to sit on this committee. Looks like we're thinking 5 members, but do we, Member Kester, you're interested? Yes. Put your name forward. Thank you. Anybody else want to put their name forward? Member Larson?
Well, just to clarify, in the terms of reference, it says there has to be one ASB member and there can be other committee members. But I'd be willing to let my name stand for that, as long as we don't have a bunch of external people that might be more qualified.
Right, it says, shall include one presently serving member of the ASB. The remaining committee members may be other ASB members, local community representatives, or other Wheatland County residents as deemed appropriate by the ASB. So that opens it up for sure too.
Well, we have to have one. Who's on it right now? Oh, I don't know. It's new, I think.
Scholarship.
I think, yeah. So last year it was me, Member DeSmet, and Member Greer.
I'll have my name stand this year.
Oh, you'll, yep. Fantastic. Anybody else want to sit on this? So that's 3. I would
try and get one more.
I would put my name forward.
Russ?
Oh. No? No. Well, we could keep it to a 3-member, or go ahead, Kester. Oh. That's a great idea. Sarah, would you accept? You would, fantastic. Well, then we have a 5-member board or committee. So we have Member Kester, Member Larson, Member Greer, Member Laprise, and Sarah Schumacher. Thank you very much. That's, well, you'll make that a motion. Thank you, Member Kester. Any further discussion? I'll call the question. Member Eichert?
In favor.
Member Clausen?
In favor.
Member Kester?
In favor.
Member Larson?
In favor.
Member Wilson?
In favor.
Member Greer?
In favor.
Member Link?
In favor.
And I'm in favor. That's carried. Fantastic. We will now move on. Our next agenda is the Bank of Montreal Farm Family Award 2025. We're looking for nominations.
George here from administration again. I will go through this report. So each year, outstanding Southern Alberta farm families are nominated by their municipalities to receive the Bank of Montreal Farm Family Award presented each year at the Calgary Stampede. Guidelines included the selection of a family deserving of recognition for both agriculture and community involvement. The farm family must be active in primary agriculture, have agriculture as the main source of income, and have members residing on the farm. It is important to note that this program focuses on recognizing the contribution to the enhancement of quality of life as a family unit, not necessarily the business of farming. Nominations made by the board will be submitted by administration to the Calgary Stampede Agriculture Department using the attached nomination form. While the original deadline for submissions is January 8th, 2025, the award administration team has extended the Wheatland County's deadline to January 17th to allow the county time to make a nomination and participate. So their new requirements for the deadline came out after our October meeting. And so then the deadline to make a nomination was before our January meeting. So that's why it got a little challenging there. So we did attach the previous recipients to the report, and I'm available for any questions.
Member Kester?
On your previous recipients, could we fill in 23 and 24 with the division numbers? Just for easy reference.
23 is division. 23 is division 7.
And 24 is Division 1. Yeah. So I think our Alice committee had a nomination to bring forward. Is that right? Oh, I'm sorry. That was a different
I have a
word.
nomination to bring forward.
Pardon me?
I have a nomination to bring forward.
Okay.
Nobody else does. Well, we can talk about them all. No. No. I'd like to nominate somebody out of Division 1. It's Salmons' Land and Cattle. Dave Salmons is the farmer of the area, of the farm. Him and his wife have taken over the farm since he came back from being a banker up north from his father. He sits on Foothills Forge as treasurer, Gleason Lyons as the secretary, the Gleason Ag Society. His wife Laura Lee works in town as the home ec instructor at the high school. Both of his kids are in agriculture. Jordan's in U of S trying to become a vet, and Cole's in business and mechanics, I believe. Both wanting to come home to the farm. Dave's always made it really easy for the next generation, and he's always the first one to lend a hand in the community when anything's going on, whether it be brandings, moving cows, combining too. He's one of those guys that always is looking at how to improve his land without anything really major happening, like rotational grazing corn. He's really into regenerative agriculture. He's probably one of the best cattle producers and grain producers, maybe not on scale wise, but out of habits and process. So he's also a banker, so that always makes it easier to cook the books. No. But Dave has helped other cattle producers move into that regenerative agriculture. He's done a really good job of broadening other producers' minds. He's done ranching for profit, and he's on a executive link board, which connects you with producers all over North America. He goes down to Wyoming, Billings, Massachusetts to talk to these producers. He's also the pioneer rep for the area, which he sells mainly canola and corn. So he's very involved in both agriculture and community. He was also shown on Alberta Beef Producers' front page there about 6 months ago, probably 10 actually. He's definitely the producer that everybody should strive to be, I think. So I'd like to nominate them. If any.
It's his dad, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. That's a great nomination. Somebody that I was thinking of too, but you know so much more about them. That's really that's a great nomination. Any others that anybody wants to put forward? All right.
I can get you right up on them.
Yeah. Perfect. Then I will call the question on that nomination. Member Eichert? Oh, pardon me. We have a question.
Have you asked them?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I know I asked one family one time and they said, no, thank you.
I said I don't know if anybody else is bringing any, but I'll bring it to the committee and see if.
Perfect. Okay, I'll call the question. Member Eichert?
In favor.
Member Clausen?
In favor because you did such a good job representing it.
Member Kester?
In favor.
Member Larson?
In favor. Glad you showed up today.
Member Wilson,
In favor.
Member Greer,
In favor, thank you, Member Wilson.
and Member Link.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. That's carried. Fantastic. Thank you so much for bringing that forward. And then our addition to our agenda is on-farm slaughter. Member Eichert.
I'm aware, I've been made aware that there's a draft form of, the ASB is working on a draft form of this. The reason I brought it forward is because as of Monday, we were going to have some opportunities to talk to the Minister of Agriculture up in Edmonton. And I'm just trying to find out if I'm the only one that has a problem with the way the current legislation is written. I believe that this program should be for farm-raised animals that to be slaughtered than to be sold. It really brings up, raises my hackles when I see that you can do this and have a livestock dealer license. And so that means you're just buying animals. You could buy animals from the auction market, which you have no idea what the health history of and put it into the food market. I think it's rife with danger. So I just want to get a feel that maybe George can sort of say what is the consensus or the draft form is what we're sort of heading for, and whether or not when I buttonhole RJ that I can actually say that this is a stupid idea. We need to refine the scope. So that's the reason I brought it up on this meeting.
George here, through the chair. So we have been working on a draft report for this. I couldn't speak to the factualness of it right now because we're just in the draft form, and I can come back with some more information when we go to the conference next week. I'll bring the draft report with me, and it does have some good information in there, so we can move forward with that, and then I'll have the formal version for the next ASB meeting in April, if that's agreeable to the board.
Thank you. Member Greer?
Yeah, without more context, I think what I heard was that we are okay with the program, but that there's parts that need to be amended. So I think maybe waiting for the report is valuable. I'll just add that I was part of where this was originally introduced. I don't think they thought they would get it perfect the first time, but it does add additional avenues for marketing for livestock producers, and it's an extremely valuable program. But as wrote, there is definitely opportunities to shore it up and make further improvements now that it's had COVID time, so 3-4 years in existence. So I'd be happy to assist with any questions from our admin.
Member Kester?
I think, sorry, I think some thought should be given. There's a lot of producers that don't raise their own, say, let's take beef. There's lots of them just buy feeders in the fall and winter them, fatten them up. So they've only owned them for a year, half a year. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I'm thinking it limits the feeders out of the whole equation. And same can go, I know there's not as many pigs slaughtered, but same thing, it's harder to get into pigs with all the factory farms. But sometimes there's kids will buy a dozen pigs or something, raise them up in the yard through the summer. I don't see nothing wrong with that, but owning the animal from the weekend and then slaughtering it, that's where we're having the problems. I'm thinking if you've raised this animal for a minimum of, I'll just arbitrarily say 6 months, or chickens. I don't know, it's agriculture, right? There's all different timelines. I've got people out of my area raise chickens and turkeys, and they don't own them. They don't own the eggs. They didn't hatch them. They go to, I'm sure it's PV Mart. If you go on PV Mart at the right time of year, you see all these baby chicks and turkeys. in their pens. So a little bit of thought has to go into how the animal was acquired. And if it was acquired from Peavey Mart, or if it was acquired from a local farmer, or if it was acquired from the auction mart, I think they're all viable. There has to be, we know what the problem is, we just have to word it in such a way that it's applicable to everybody.
Sorry, Ryan, and then Rick.
Just to add, I think this was rolled out under red tape reduction. So whatever the solution, I think it's just extremely important that it keeps the producer in mind, the paperwork in check. However, I would say, aligning with Member Eichert's comments, there is a major concern over animal health and withdrawal times on medications when you're talking about some of these facilities or farms turning over animals that were only purchased the prior day or week or whatever the case may be. So it's going to be a tricky balance, but just keeping in mind that for the producers that are doing it, there is already quarterly reporting, and trying to find a balance with getting this right and the red tape that the producer needs to do to be part of it.
I think we just need to be very careful that we don't change how it works for everyone just because there's one person that doesn't do it properly. We don't change the speed limit just because one person's speeding. So this is an important thing. Chickens, Glenn mentioned, they can be butchered as young as 6 weeks in age. So, you know, putting a time limit on this is not going to be a good idea. I think that, and you can't say just because you bought it at an auction, it's no good. It might be, but there's lots of cattle bought at auctions for various reasons in various stages. Some only need 90 days of feed to top them up. You can't say, cattle are bought and sold at an auction every day by reputable people. So you can't paint an auction as a bad place just because one person's doing something that may or may not, as far as I know, be wrong.
Good discussion. Do you want to just make a motion to accept for information?
We'll make that motion.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion? I'll call the question. Member Eichert.
In favor.
Member Clausen.
In favor.
Member Kester.
In favor.
Member Larson.
In favor.
Member Wilson.
In favor.
Member Greer.
In favor.
Member Link.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Thanks. That was really good discussion and something we can have administration bring forward. Thank you. Moving on our agenda. Moving on our agenda. Chair's report is on page 84. You all are aware of most of the stuff going on. Just for Alice, I'll just let you know that we have welcomed Rod Vergowen as our new farmer liaison. So his role is to promote Alice to ag producers across the county. I'm sure he's going to do a great job of that. And that Alice Wheatland is hosting the 2025 West Hub Field Conference. Is that the right, yes, terminology? So this involves having people come to tour Alice project participants to see what projects they are doing. South Region Conference, just highlighting that the attendees rated all of the ASB resolutions that are currently on the books to identify the highest important resolutions, and Richardson Ground Squirrels was listed as #1 for South Region. Second one was the Land and Property Rights Tribunal, which was a Wheatland County-led resolution. And third was having concerns with the Water Act. So those 3 items will go to this provincial conference with the 3 items from all the other regions. And I think they'll try and focus their efforts on the highest important items. Our Provincial Ag Service Board, I think, is just having difficulties keeping up with the number of resolutions that they have on their plate. So that is my report. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, I'll move to accept my report as presented. Any questions? I will call the question then. Member Eichert.
In favor.
Member Clausen.
In favor.
Member Kester.
In favor.
Member Larson.
In favor.
Member Wilson.
In favor.
Member Greer.
In favor.
Member Link.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. That's carried. Thank you. Next on our list is the Manager of Ag and Environment report.
Hello, George here from administration. You can see my report is included in the package. We are ongoing with repairs and maintenance. We've completed some safety inspections, inventory. You can see some of the stats for some of our conservation environment programming. The Shelter Belt and Eco Buffer project, we have the Rosebud irrigation system set up and it seems to be working pretty good. It's producing about 2,000 gallons per day, which will be great for watering that project. The town of Drumheller has committed to providing the remainder of the mulch for the project, which is just great. This is the second time they've provided compensation sponsorship for this program. So we're really happy with the town of Drumheller right now. They've just been fantastic to collaborate with. So I hope that at some point we may be able to help them with some project in the future. We're currently investigating irrigation options for the Carsland site. This is a challenging one. The wastewater treatment portion is probably not going to happen. We're more likely going to be looking at groundwater, well water installation at that project there. We had about 30, 40 volunteers in Rosebud on October 23rd. You can see the picture there. It was just a fantastic day. We were so lucky with the weather and just, you know, I was really nervous that we were going to be planting trees in snow. And Sarah had to calm me down a bunch of times about that. So thank you, Sarah, for pushing me forward on that. So you can see some of our totals. So this was the first year in late July where we had the full fleet with the tractor swing arm mowers. So that was great. Next year will be our full contingent with the new fleet. So we've been getting lots of feedback about using the new 15-foot mowers and it's all been very positive. So we're really happy with this equipment and it seems to be working really well. You can see we seeded 24 locations, 42 boroughs, 18 roadsides. You can see our ag plastics recycling totals. So we hauled 222 bags to Merlin Plastics, completed 203 weed inspections. That sounds low, but it's actually really high. So one weed inspection for the town of Standard counts as one weed inspection, right? So I just like to put some context in there. They completed the licensing and inspections of the seed plants within Wheatland County, the non-mobiles, and the classroom agriculture program was completed by our Ag Service Officer, Albert. He did that in 3 schools this year. And you can see a picture of our roadside mowing fleet right there, and total inquiries this year regarding the department and functions and things like that come to 305. The bulk of that being Sarah and myself coming through. So the new equipment that council greenlit for us will be another 15-foot mower. And then we have some upcoming events here coming up really fast, so that's great. Ladies Livestock Lessons at the end of the week is a big one. You can see Foothills Forage and Grazing is doing a control strategies for gopher and ungulate and predators in High River. Ranching Opportunities is in there, and Roots So Deep. And as of last week, I have just confirmed that we will be hosting the farmer pesticide course. It's not in the package here, but I'll be making a social media blast today or tomorrow. So that will be held at the administration building here on March 6th. And that is generally a well-attended event. And I am available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Any questions? Member Kester.
Got a couple. I missed the tree planting day, but where is the wet well in Rosebud?
The wet well is located right next to the lift station. So when you drive down, you know where that, okay, yeah.
Okay, so that's like a real well then, it's not serviced directly from the creek?
Yeah, we got permits from Environment to do this. So it is a 20-foot culvert perforated about 2/3 of the way up. So we put in washed gravel around, and we got Public Works to help us install that. And it seems to be producing really well. So the well is producing well.
Not potable water then?
No, it is not potable water. So in addition to that wet well, we have secured a temporary diversion license on the Rosebud River for between 16 to 20,000 cubic meters. And that was just in case the wet well runs dry. I like to have a backup plan. So we're going to continue with that temporary diversion license moving forward, and the wet well. And between those two things, if I can't keep those trees irrigated, between those two, we've got bigger problems.
Yeah, it's sandy land there.
Very rocky and very porous ground. So.
Okay, also with the town of Drumheller, that was a town donation or?
Yes, so the town of Drumheller has been doing some flood mitigation. So what they're doing is cutting down a lot of trees and such. So they, I helped them secure a mulching contractor so they can help do this. So it's been a really beneficial project for us. So
I would make a motion that we send town of Drumheller from the Ag Service Board a nice thank you note. And the mowing time for road, we've got a new mower. Are we getting a new tractor too? I would like to see, and it seemed like the mowing of the ditches last year took a long time. I'm thinking maybe we need another one because the weather wasn't that bad last year. We had a little wet spell, but the rest was dry.
Yeah, so regarding the mowing, so we generally change up the rotation of the mowing every year to keep it fair, as the board is likely aware. And so this year what we did, instead of putting one mower in each grader division, we put a couple together on the east and a couple together on the west, and then we kind of tried to close it in. And so this year we didn't have the full fleet until the end of July. So that's why we were generally about 2 to 3 weeks behind. And that's just because we had such late delivery on of our capital equipment. So next year will be like the real test. We have the equipment, we have the operators. It should go faster this year. We should be able to be on
I'll
time.
give you one more chance.
Thank you.
I like the idea of putting two together for logistics and stuff. I think it probably work better. Thank you.
Member Larson?
So are these mowers the ones that happen to hit a TELUS phone cable in Division 7?
Not the mowers, no.
Oh,
So,
okay. Good, that's, I don't know what hit it, but I was told it was a mower from Ag, and I said, I kind of don't think it was, but.
There's.
You know who I'm talking about.
There's some gray areas in there. We very much try our very best to not damage any kind of infrastructure, and these phone lines seem to be a consistent thorn in everybody's side. That is not just a Wheatland County.
It's a TELUS problem, really.
It is, yeah.
They're
TELUS
putting it in our ditch, but the problem is the residents, they've tried to deal with TELUS for I don't know how long, and where they live, there's no cell service, so they're dependent on a landline. Well, we got rid of our copper line years ago because it was so pathetic you couldn't understand anybody on it. But anyway, it's a big deal for them, so I just wondered if it was these mowers or if it was something different.
We had been doing some seeding work out that way, and
okay, good enough. Never mind. I got it.
I think, sorry, Member Clausen and then Member Greer. Oh, and there's already a motion on the floor, I think. So let's first deal with Member Kester's motion to send a thank you letter. You made a motion to send a thank you letter to direct administration to thank Drumheller for their contribution. Mulch.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I want to vote on it now.
Yes, we should probably vote on it.
I'm in favor.
Member Eichert?
In favor.
Member Clausen?
In favor.
Member Kester?
In favor.
Member Larson? Member Wilson,
In favor.
Member Greer,
In favor?
Member Link,
In favor.
and I'm in favor. That's carried. And then Member Greer, did you have something, another comment? Or, sorry, Member Clausen?
Let's make a motion that the board accept the agricultural field manager report for the fourth quarter of 2024 as information.
Excellent, thank you. Any further discussion? Call the question. Member Eichert,
In favor.
Member Clausen,
Yes, I'm in favor.
Member Kester,
In favor.
Member Larson,
In favor.
Member Wilson,
In favor.
Member Greer,
In favor?
Member Link,
In favor.
and I'm in favor. There is another motion, Member Greer, if you'd like to make another motion. Oh, I guess we haven't, sorry. Did you have any comments on the tracker? Usually it goes together.
Just the trackers as presented.
Okay, thank you.
I can move that the board accept the updated ASB resolution tractor as information.
Thank you very much. Member Eichert,
In favor.
Member Clausen,
In favor.
Member Kester,
In favor.
Member Larson,
In favor.
Member
In
Wilson,
favor.
Member Greer,
In favor?
Member Link,
In favor.
and I'm in favor. All right, the last thing on our agenda is this incredible correspondence package. More than 100 pages of basically BC C293 concerns, letters of concerns from ASB. I'm very glad to see so many responses on that one. So kudos to all the Ag Service Boards out there. Is there anything that anybody wanted to talk about in particular? Pull out, Member Kester.
Yeah, the one from Smoky River. I was lucky to be able to be on an ag tour up there in that North Country. Bee production is huge for them. There's even organic honey producers up there, if you can imagine. And I asked him, how can you say it's organic? And he says the closest canola field to any one of his hives was over a mile away. And during this mile flight, it's a solid mile of clover. It's a natural clover that grows up there in the bush. And that's where they get this brand of honey from. And of course, canola fields. So yeah, it must have been something to affect the canola like that. I know it's temperamental to drought and heat, but I just thought I'd throw that in there for a little information.
Thank you.
I'll move to accept the correspondence as information.
Thank you, Member Wilson. Any other discussion? All right, I'll call the question. Member Eichert,
In favor.
Member Clausen,
In favor.
Member Kester,
In favor.
Member Larson,
In favor.
Member Wilson,
In favor.
Member Greer,
In favor?
Member Link,
In favor.
and I'm in favor. That is carried. That brings us to the end of our agenda. Thanks, everybody. I will adjourn the meeting.